we're just weeks away from the International Builder Show down in Orlando. And like we do at every International Builder Show, the Monday night, we do a meetup of Contractor Coalition alumni. So if you're interested in attending, we've got a great event from about 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Stop by anytime. You're going to see builders from all over the country. You've got Brad Levitt, Morgan Molitor, Tyler Grace, myself, and Nick Schiffer, as well as all of our sponsors over the years. If you've never been to the Contractor Coalition Summit before, but you've heard us talk about it, it's a great place to come meet everyone, see what it's all about. So you can register for our May event in Colorado or our November event in Charlotte, or just come and meet and greet and see if you like the vibe. All the details are at contractorcoalitionsummit.com under the Monday night meetup at KBIZ. We hope to see you there.
Think about the color of light when you first get up and the sun's just coming up.
Orange and pink and cotton candy.
Right? And the light does the same. So it's not going to be that noon, 5,000 Kelvin at 7 a.m.
Right.
At noon, 1, 2, it will be. As our seasons change here in Minnesota, your lighting adjusts as well. It just keeps following that sun path.
Welcome to the Curious Builder Podcast. I'm Mark Williams, your host. Today we're back with part 2 or episode 2 of our lighting, and we're back with Kristin Reinitz from Admit One and Aurora One Lighting to finish our conversation from last week. Last week we talked about the importance of good lighting in the home for both comfort and utility, and we also touched on how to integrate natural light into the home and incandescent light versus LEDs, EMF consideration in lighting. So let's get back to the conversation.
We're just trying to cover our costs. But again, like when we work with electricians, they see, oh, we got more poles. We've got more labor in there. I didn't have to do any of the ordering. He didn't have to track all the changes on plan. We're handling all of that. So we just try to make their lives easier. And there's plenty of times, even on Mysa, Driven has been a great partner to work with. We like them a lot, where we communicate a lot. You know, Luke will be on site and be like, Kristin, what do you think about this? And I'm like, you're the one on site. What do you think? Just because there's a lighting designer involved doesn't mean I'm the final word on all lighting. Like, he has tons of experience. We went back and forth in one situation and I was like, no, you're right. Do what you're doing. Like, I agree. And I think with interior designers, like, they want to provide the decorative fixtures. I just stay out of it. So when I do lighting design, I'll make suggestions on, here's some areas I think we need some decorative. Here's where we want some pendants. Here's some other things. But I just mark them on plan. The interior designers who finds them and does the spec, there's some that I can access if they want help with it. But otherwise, decorative, I just stay out of it. And again, try to give advice on, like, here's the lighting going on throughout the rest of the home. So do your decoratives, are they going to dim well? You know, like, send me specs and I can give advice. But I know interior designers, they want that decorative package. So I'm there to help just support them with it too.
What are, from a wellness standpoint, what are some trends that you're seeing in lighting? Like when you go to your lighting showrooms and I'd like to shift a little bit to like EMF. We had a client recently, electromagnetic fields and I know Lance has got that little meter and, dirty electricity, some of these terms that I'm just now starting to, discover and really get a big interest in. Give us some broad overview of like the signals that are going on in the house. And we for sure have to get to the funny story towards here at the end that's worth waiting for. But why don't we start with EMF and just trends that you're seeing around wellness as it regards to lighting?
Yeah, I would say like on the EMF front, we're getting a lot more questions about it. And so we went and got a meter because we have another client who big home, tons of stuff going in there. And she just asked the question, this AV equipment and lighting, what's happening with the EMFs? And so we tested our own show home, went around and kind of used this meter on everything. And really none of our stuff was a bad offender. It's more like, I don't want to hate on our appliance people, but it was some of those big appliances that were the worst offenders, the range, the refrigerator, the microwave. Do they
only when they're being used or when they're off too?
If they're plugged in, if there's current going to them. So it's the current, I guess, that does it. But most of our lighting got no reading or very, very minimal. The worst thing that we found was
your phones.
The cell phone. That's by far the worst. Even on our AV racks, the meter up on like every single piece of equipment, and none of it was anything we were concerned with. It was like hundredths of where it would have to be before you would even start to have a concern.
I mean, that's interesting about the phone because most people, I mean, men carry it in their pockets. I don't know. Where do you normally carry your phone? Do you carry it in your pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like it's on my nightstand at night. That's the worst spot.
Well, and
it
didn't
could be.
Lance say it was like, what, a foot or how far before the EMF signals die off a phone, roughly?
A foot or something like that.
Right.
I guess I don't remember exactly what he said.
I made the move for different reasons because I think wellness, I think the thing I've discovered a lot about wellness is I think wellness means different things to different people.
100%.
And some people, for instance, reverse osmosis, they like the idea that there's no minerals. Some people are like we're working with Pentair on Mysa Hus, where they're going to reintroduce minerals back into the water after they purify it. So it's like everyone's totally different. I heard something the other day where like having reverse osmosis, actually, if you're drinking it, would absorb maybe chemicals or minerals in your body and like leach them out of you. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So like, there's just so much stuff I don't know that I'm really passionate about and learning about. But I actually, and maybe it's because my phone knows, if you're into the Big Brother conspiracy theorists, which I'm really not, but like I am being served a lot of wellness stuff on my Instagram right now.
Yeah.
And one of the things I just bought over the weekend was they make like a little copper chip thing that goes on the back of your phone.
Okay.
That it says that it harmonizes EMF signals, and then you can get one that's the size of your phone. You can put in your office, and it's like a 90-foot. You can get however big it is. It will block signals for like 94 feet or like harmonize them.
Yeah.
But there was an article in I forget the name of the company off the top of my head, but it was at the Timberwolves arena because you have. Let's say you go to a stadium and it's loud and it's hard to know if it's the environment, how many people, blah, blah, all the lights everywhere. But they were just saying that like with all these phones, this company was putting these EMF harmonizers all around the stadium.
Yeah.
And the idea was that it would take, let's say 20,000 cell phones, however much EMF signal is coming off of those, a lot. And it's somehow harmonizing the frequency into a single frequency. I know. I just saw I just went to the company's webpage and then they had this one for phones. So I ordered them. They're in the mail. I'm curious to see. I don't know if I'll know any difference, but I'm just really intrigued now.
Let me know if you need the meter.
All right. I do. Well, I'm definitely going to use the meter. Yeah. Well, tell you what, I'll come down when we have our next collective. I'll just obviously I'll have my phone with me.
Yeah. Bring it and we'll bring the meter and let's test it out.
We'll do a little beta test on it. So, okay. So that's EMF a little bit. There was an architect that I had on recently, the non-toxic architect. She's out in Washington, D.C., Travis Price Architects. And they're starting to do, she called them kill switches. So like you would have basically an off switch. So like when you're sleeping, you would turn off all the outlets. Now I think this is predicated on, not having your phone in your bedroom, which for me personally, I know this might be controversial. There's no judgment here, but like, I think it's the best practice to have it. Totally. For me, about 8 months ago, another builder and I kind of made a pact with each other when we were talking about not having phones. And so now, after my kids go to sleep, I'll go downstairs, I'll check to see any texts. I'll look at my schedule for the next day because I made the mistake of not checking my schedule once and I totally missed a meeting because it wasn't around. Yeah. And but I now leave my phone downstairs. It's great. You don't doom scroll. I did mine more for time versus like EMF stuff. But then to find out, oh, wow, not having your phone by your bed is actually probably better for you.
Well, and I think that brings up a point. Like, wellness is different to everyone, but isn't the goal, I think, a big part of wellness, too, is just like protecting the family time. Like, that is wellness, is like having that time at home with whoever's at your home, if that's your kids, whatever. So I like the idea. It would be hard to do it. My husband would love it. He'd be on board. But yeah, I think that is a piece of wellness we don't always consider part of wellness, is just like, how are you shutting off? We are hit all day long. And I say it all the time. I'm over communicated with all day long. My phone's buzzing all day. It's phone, it's text. I can have 20 different text chains in a day. And then I can doom scroll. Then, if you turn the radio or a TV on, it's just, there's information overload. And at the end of the day, I'm wiped. I am wiped by information overload. So this idea of like setting the phone down, putting it away. Now let's set the mood in the home. Let's get some like relaxing music going. Let's set the lights. That whole idea is just, I really like it. I can latch on to that a bit of like.
I mean, that was a big, huge part of Mysa Hus's creation. And you have to tell your version of the story that about the Faraday cage. So part of Mysa Hus is, I'm the brand archetype of the home. I'm a family of 3 kids, 9, 7, and 5, soon to be 6. And Tate would be very excited about his birthday. That's what I'm thinking about. And anyway, the idea was, we protect family time, from 5:30 to 8. I mean, that's the time we're eating dinner, all that time, games, whatever, quiet time. Anyway, so I wanted this house. Well, it's not my home. I want to tell this story that it would attract someone to it, of this. Could you create an environment like everyone? I shouldn't say everyone. Actually, I've never met anyone that has gone to like a cabin or the mountains or a place where there's no cell phone reception, like the Boundary Waters, and your phone doesn't work. So after about a couple days, you stop checking your phone all the time. You start leaving your phone. You don't need it anymore, and it's relaxing. And people, myself included, like, you wonder, like, oh man, why am I relaxed? I'll tell you exactly why you're relaxed. Because you're not being overstimulated at 24/7. And so I came to you and I said, a Faraday cage is an electric mesh over a house that you would feed current into. So basically, like, I think of like NSA or like keeping security, super safe stuff from whatever. That wasn't what I was going with. What I was trying to go is like, could you protect your family so that not only could you turn off your Wi-Fi, but your kids someday when they're in high school, they couldn't have it jump to the neighbor's Wi-Fi or the cellular network. And so now you have to, but that's the premise of what I asked you. You got to go through your side of like what people told you, like, who is this guy?
Yeah. So you called asking me to do some research around it. And luckily we have, one of the world's most intelligent security people on our team. And so I went to him, his name's Joe Salzman. And I just asked him, like, have you heard of this? And immediately he's like, who is this guy and what does he want? And not knowing
defensively.
Not knowing you're a builder, he was just totally creeped out, thinking you're a client asking me to Faraday cage a cabin in the woods. And so he immediately sent me some articles talking about like cell phone jammers being used on the highways. People are driving in. It's a felony. You cannot do that. But what you and I had never even thought about that Joe brought up right away was, Kristin, that's exactly what the mafia would want. That's what a serial killer would want. Or like the worst people in the world would love to be able to take someone to a cabin and now no safety service, no fire can be called out. Someone's in danger, like
smoke alarms,
nothing
carbon
works.
monoxide alerts,
nothing would be calling out. And so I mean,
heroes for peace and quiet. Turns out it's peace and quiet, all right.
It sure is, but like so not okay. But we learned because you and I had no idea.
This episode is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors. I've used Pella for 21 years as the exclusive window company on every one of my builds. When people ask me who I trust for windows and doors, it's Pella, every time. Their craftsmanship, their innovation, the top-tier service make them a no-brainer for any custom home builder or designer who demand the best. Whether you're designing something bold or building something with timeless elegance, Pella has you covered. They're also the only window company that has a lifetime warranty on all of their windows. I've gotten to know all of their people at Pella Corporate, as well as locally here at Pella Northland. I'm proud to call them our partners and our friends. Visit Pella.com to learn more and connect with your local reps today. Also, for more information, you can listen to episode 1, where I interview their founders, as well as episode 109, where we talk about the innovation at Pella. Well, in the time that you were looking up at this, like a classic entrepreneur, I was already thinking of 3 businesses I could start off of it. I was like, wait a minute, this might. I was like, for one moment in time, I was probably running at the time, thinking like, I'm a genius. I have just unlocked humans' potential. I'll probably make more money on this patent and be able to shut down my building company, Curious Builder. Like, I will basically be rolling in the cash because how many parents in the world want to be able to have like their family? The amount of money that people, and I still believe this, by the way, that if we could give people a tool to, turns out it is the hardest tool that you could ever have, which is self-discipline. That's the only way to still achieve it. Anyway, that was my side of it.
You were literally like calling your patent lawyer. I know, to see if this was like something you could do before you even created it.
Right.
And then I had to shut down your dreams. I'm so sorry.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. It brought, like you just mentioned though, so I was just thinking about this, like, Mysa Hus is like the Scandinavian feel. We were in Norway this last summer. My husband and I went, and we kind of kept hearing that kind of like the trend in Scandinavian countries right now is even though like the uber rich, like their weekends are spent at a cabin completely unplugged. Like no running water, no electricity. They're not the what we call, a cabin that's like somebody's house. It's just another mansion. Like they really are shacks that they just go enjoy the nature of. And so Mysa, who's like, again, just is following that trend so well. And we were there, like just thinking about lighting in these over there too. And it's like, yeah, they were minimal. Like they need the unplug part. And I think we aren't as good at that example of like self-discipline, go away and put the phone down.
It's funny because I don't know if you found this, but like for me, between Mark Williams Custom Homes, Mysa Hus, and the Curious Builder, because I'm obviously the same person in all of these things, but they start blending together. So like Curious Builder Boot Camp, we have it coming up actually 13 days from today. We're recording. And we're going down to Costa Rica, and we've got, that's right, Lance is coming. And we've got, 23 builders from around the country, no phones, no alcohol, 2-a-day workouts. The whole point was when I went to the Boundary Waters, and I go, we just planned the trip. We're going out the end of September. You get 4 or 5 days with no phones, and it's you're sleeping on the ground. Now, is sleeping in a bed more comfortable? Absolutely. But there's something about the minimalistic, like you just don't need much. It's very, the simple things in life just really center you on a lot, at least for me. It's just, I love being in the mountains. I love being in nature. That's a big part of it. But oddly enough, going back to this phone thing, the hardest thing that has been for the attendees of Curious Builder Bootcamp, and it was never meant to be the main thing, it was just a segment, is people giving up their phones. I can't tell you, of the 23 people coming, 7 of them have asked, like on the sly, for like abilities to like have their phones. I'm like, and the fact that they're asking for it tells me that how important it is to keep that very sacred. Yeah. And there are emergencies, of course, and we have it's not like we're abducting people to Costa Rica, and like there's ways if you have to call back through the hotel or whatever, we'll figure it out. But it just really, we have become so dependent on our technology, and I love it. You're a technology company. We love our technology. That being said, there is something really rejuvenating about unplugging from it.
Well, and I think just again to the point of like humans connecting with nature is relaxing and calming. I tell a story all the time, but like even with lighting, we lived outside for thousands of years. We woke up with the sun, we went to bed with the sun, and then we moved into white boxes and put one big light in the center of the room. Well, of course we're not comfortable, right? Like of course it's eye strain. Of course, we're having trouble sleeping at night. We're screwing up our own circadian rhythm. And so I think Mysa Hus again is a good example of like trying to bring those natural elements in. That's part of wellness. And even the lighting, trying to mimic what natural light does and can change throughout the day. That's what good LEDs can also do, is kind of adjust what they're doing throughout the day, adjust per time of day, because those are really like, the lighting signals our brain what we should be doing, what activity, what time of day is it. It's all by the sun. So again, now we live in white boxes and then throw one big light fixture on the ceiling and wonder why we can't relax in our home.
So maybe we'll close with this. So like if there's another brand, maybe there is, but like you talk about circadian rhythm. I've only ever seen the Ketra, right? Yeah. Which is a manufacturer, correct?
Lutron is who owns Ketra. Yeah.
Okay. And that light bulb, basically you could program in where you are in the northern hemisphere, which is where we are, obviously.
We put our coordinates in.
You put your coordinates in, and then basically it's going to mimic so if you turn it on at 6 a.m., but okay, so like right now, walk us through like from the time you turn it on to the path of a day, but also like what happens when you're up before the sun is out, because obviously like right now it doesn't get light till 7 o'clock, 7:05, something, I don't know. Yeah. And so, but like, I'm up at 4:30, like I need lighting on. Now I usually only have I like very soft lighting it's 4:30 in the morning. I don't want to be blasted out, right? So I usually just leave on the under counter lights on until I make my coffee, get breakfast ready. And then by then maybe I'm ready. If I'm going to read the paper, I'll put on the lowest dim setting, the 2 sconces. Yep. Anyway, that's my preface. Walk us through how the circadian rhythm lighting works. And like, I'm sort of hacking my own lighting sequence, but also like, how would a light come on if natural light, it's not even light out? Like what would it be, just always the lowest rating until sun comes up?
Yeah. Well, it again depends. There's so many ways I could answer that. Ketra itself You could just turn it on in the morning and it could be a very low level. More what works really well, like again, it's going to know where you are in the world. So it knows what time that sun's coming up, what time that sun's going down. It's following kind of if you think of the curve of the sun, right, changes throughout our year, depending what time of year it is. And so we can actually it's based on timing. So let's say you get up in the morning and you turn your light on. It's going to come up just as low as possible. Then the sun's going to start coming up. And your lights are going to mimic that throughout the day. So think about the color of light when you first first get up and the sun's just coming up.
Orange and pink and cotton candy.
Right? It is, though.
Yeah.
And the light does the same. So it's not going to be that noon, 5,000 Kelvin at 7 a.m.
Right.
At noon, 1, 2, it will be. It'll follow that. So what's nice about that is, again, as our seasons change here in Minnesota, your lighting adjusts as well. It just keeps following that sun path. Doesn't mean you can't jump in and override it.
Sure.
I'd use my house the same way in the mornings. It's all my under cabinet, like shelf lighting. There's none of my overheads on until the sun starts coming up.
Right.
Then I turn on a little bit more and kind of fake the circadian rhythm.
Sure.
But yes, so Ketra, we love it. It's one of the best products on the market. It's not just about the fact that it can do that circadian rhythm. Part of what makes it be able to do that is most LEDs, like a really good high quality, has like 4 LED chips in it. A Ketra bulb has 16.
Whoa.
Correct. Exactly. So there's a lot more capability there and a lot more capability of the colors to mix to kind of get the quality we want and the right temperature we want.
Interesting. If you were, and the last question, otherwise we'll go for 4 more hours.
Yeah.
If you are designing a school and budget is not an issue,
Oh, that would be so fun. Yeah.
how would you, so you're in, let's say a lot of schools, they typically put the classes on the outside so you have some natural light, but some don't. How would you, let's just assume there's no light, a natural light. How would you, so would you warm the bulbs up throughout the day? You're in a dark room, so without any light, students start school at what, 9 o'clock in the morning, 8:30, depending on where you are, and they finish at like 2:30. Is the lighting going to be the same the whole time through? I mean, you're doing task work, you're doing, let's say in your science class, you're doing lab stuff. If you're, doing math, like how would you do that in a school setting, a commercial setting?
So I can't think of it as just using Ketra from the ceiling. So sure, we could have Ketra in the ceiling adjusting throughout the day, but to be successful there, like, okay, what kind of task lighting do I have? If there's no budget, can I put like a little lamp on every single student's desk?
That'd be amazing.
It would be amazing. My own desk at work, like we have ugly fluorescents up in the office. It is what it is. We'll get them changed eventually. At my own desk, I have lamps. And like my desk area looks dark if you're outside of it. You're in my area though. I have lighting everywhere I need it.
So like kind of like a helmet light that's down on the paper, down on the keyboard, or where?
I have multiple little lamps.
Before this episode goes live, you got to give me a little
video
video
photo
tutorial
of my office and using what I have. So yeah, for school, it'd be a lot more individualized if I could, right? Because you also have like little kids taking a nap at 11 a.m., right? So what's the lighting doing there? It would be more fun to have Ketra in there. So, there's ways you add little bits of color too, like maybe add a little blue because that's really calming and relaxing. So the nap room gets blue in there, right? The lunchroom, brighten it up. Everyone's awake, running around. So being able to, what's each space being used for? That's how I would start working on the lighting design.
Situational.
Yep.
Well, this is amazing. Thank you for coming on. Thanks. Audience. It's a little bit longer for our Thursday session, almost double actually.
Is it?
Well, that's what happens when you and I get in the room.
Yeah, we can't shut up.
That's how it goes. If anyone wants to reach out to you, they can reach out to Admit1 or Aurora1 on Instagram, or obviously
you can
on
find
your
us.
website. Yeah, just type in that, or come to Mysa Hus. You'll be there.
Yeah, I will be there a lot.
Oh, you will be.
Come.
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to the Curious Builder podcast. If you like this episode, do us a favor. Share it with 3 other business owners. The best way that we can spread what we're doing is by word of mouth, and with your help, we can continue to help other curious builders expand their business. Please share it with your friends, like and review online, and thanks again for tuning in.